Hello and welcome. You are here today on the Extra Files with me, your man, Rudy Barrow. And if you don't know who I am, have a look at me on Google. Check me out. Well, I'll tell you anyway. I'm an actor of many years, and today I've decided to make a video about what it's like to be an extra. Well, the first thing we have to get right is that we're not called extras anymore. We're called supporting artists. Okay, because we support the cast. Without us, basically films can't really be made. Anyway, now we've got that out of the way, let's move on to why you want to be a supporting artist. Okay, so you may have seen films and you thought to yourself, maybe I could be in a film as a supporting artist and maybe work my way up to be an actor or an actress. Who knows? Okay, so what should we be thinking about? Well, I think one of the most important things is to ask yourself, how fit am I? Yes, it sounds like a really strange question to ask, but it's all very, very relevant. So the first thing is, are you fairly fit? Okay, because in some cases you may be asked to walk repeatedly, you may be asked to stand for long periods of time, and you may be even asked to run. So fitness does come into it. Okay, so now we have that out of the way, let's look at your partner. No, not does your partner want to be in the film with you. We'll come to that in another episode, but this one is basically, will your partner understand you working long hours? Because this takes a lot of commitment. If you have to be on set, say 6 o'clock in the morning, you have to figure out how you're going to get there on time. What's your mode of transport? All these things come into it. So it could be 6 in the morning till maybe 6 in the evening. So that's 12 hours right there. Now you've got to factor in your travel time. Okay, so you see where I'm coming from. Fitness, commitment. Okay, so your partner has to put up with a lot. Okay, so you've got to say to yourself, will my partner understand me being away for so long? And maybe sometimes you'll be called at a short notice, and that could be quite disrupting. What about your family and friends? Are you very sociable? That could be a problem too, because if you really get into doing this supporting artist work, you won't have very much time for socializing. So that's the second thing to think about. And if your partner is happy, doing whatever you want to do, that's a bonus. So with those questions out the way, what's next? Right then, so let me ask you a question. What is the one thing you can never get back? No matter how much money you have. Of course, it's time. Yes, time. So let's talk about time. Do you have the time to be a supporting artist? What I mean by that is, do you have a full-time job, part-time job? Are you unemployed, or are you retired? So if you're retired, obviously you have lots of time. If you have a part-time job, you're self-employed, you could probably have some time to do it. If you have a full-time job, this is not for you. This is definitely not for you. Believe me, I've tried it with a full-time job, and it's very hard to get time off to do what you want to do. Maybe have some holidays you can book off, but with this game it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible, because you could be called at a moment's notice. I can get a call today to be on set tomorrow, and you've got to be very flexible, to be honest. Okay, so now we've got time out of the way, let's talk about clothes. Sounds boring, but another very important aspect is that you have to have a lot of clothes that you can take as options to each shoot. Costume would like to see what you have. Sometimes they're happy with just you sending in like photographs of the clothes that you've got, but what you'll need is to actually physically have these clothes. So what I tend to do, I tend to go to places like charity shops. Yes, charity shops. I'm not afraid to stay at charity shops because you can get some cheap bargains, and why not? You know, we haven't got any money these days, so let's get some cheap items. You can get some really good bargains too. Right then, I think we've come to the point in the video where we need to do a little recap on what we've talked about so far. So we know that we're relatively fit. Our partner has said that they're going to support us, and they realize, you know, that we're going to be away from home for quite long periods of time, and they're quite happy with that. Our friends and family, the same sort of thing there. We know that we can commit time to being a supporting artist ourselves because we're either self-employed or we just have the time to do it. You know, we're not going to get in trouble with our job or anything like that. And also, we've briefly talked about clothes. We know we can get clothes. We have clothes in our wardrobe, and we can get clothes from the charity shops quite cheaply. And I think that is it really for this video. I'd like to hear your comments. If you want to hear anything in particular about, you know, what it takes to be a supporting artist and what steps should you go through, I'll be quite happy and interested to see what your comments are on this video even. And there's so much to cover, and I've broken it down. You probably figure out by now that this video is a lot different to what you've seen possibly on YouTube or wherever. The reason is because I want to get into the nitty-gritty, as I call it, the nitty-gritty of things, and what do you really need to do to succeed and go forward. So I have a lot of stories to tell and a lot of information to give, the do's and the don'ts, and we'll cover that in other videos. So like I said, thanks for watching, and I hope it's been informative, and I'll catch you on the next one. Not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but keep a lookout on my channel, and depending on what the comments are, we'll catch up, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. All I can say is hasta la vista, baby, and I will be back.